We rose up slowly. The phenomenon began with birds flying higher and things falling slower. Now the phenomenon is everywhere, and it has changed the way we touch each other. Once, one evening, after you'd finished your ice cream, I came close to you and we took our clothes off, socks floating around the room. I handled you roughly as requested, leaving marks and bruises on your skin. Afterwards you turned to me and said it was like being tickled by a giant slice of spam. How unsatisfied you were. Do young people nowadays know what spam is?
Yes.
Oh, good. I was just checking that reference. How unsatisfied you were, and it was my turn to giggle. So then you chased and spanked me with a tennis racket, leaving hatches and bumps on my buttocks like a pale Danish ice cream cone. Later you turned to me and said, being bonked by you was like a mosquito attacking my nether regions. I looked at you with your arms folded. I reached out, but you turned around and walked away, your buttocks flapping about like two plump people bumping bellies. And I must admit, you were right. It wasn't fun anymore. The phenomenon began with birds flying higher and things falling slower. Your father, the chicken farmer, who used to limp with a jerk and slouch, found himself walking with greater ease and an improved smoothness. Your mother had a goiter. Your mother had one stuck like a bloated parrot on her left shoulder. Well, people with goiters found their goiters growing, goiters clamouring for attention, sprouting white hairs, veins protruding, wrinkles deepening, tissues and fluids swilling about, ballooning big, waiting to be popped. Once, suddenly, while watching TV, I stopped staring at the screen and I wandered over to you under the pretext of practicing a Korean massage technique, and I pressed my hands about your body, searching for any protuberances, any early indication of goiters. But the only odd texture felt was the silver surface of the locket floating around your neck. I can remember birds flying higher and things falling slower. I can remember the first time the phenomenon touched our lives. Of course, we'd heard about it and seen it on TV, but the first time we experienced it ourselves, we were walking in the park. We'd just eaten lunch at a cafe near the lake. I had a steak sandwich with extra onions and you had a salad. We were walking to digest. We were walking hand in hand on an autumn day in the park, carefree beneath an avenue of overhanging branches. We were discussing your mother and her problem with chickens. Then mid-conversation you stopped and you clenched my hand tightly and said, look at the leaves. And I looked and I saw and I said, the leaves, the falling leaves, this is just too beautiful. And we stood there gaping like stunned mullets, and we turned around and turned around and turned around again, and we couldn't believe our eyes. The yellow-green leaves were falling, sure as they do in autumn, falling to the ground, but they were falling as though playfully resisting the inevitable rendezvous with the earth. They were dropping too softly, floating down too slowly, as though taking their time, well aware they were being watched and enjoying the attention. And you said, is this a dream? And so I kissed you, just to confirm we were not asleep. And I said, perhaps it's always been this way, and we've never been in love enough to notice. And later you said, of course, it wasn't a dream. When you kissed me, I smelt onions.